Hello YouTube, this is Sonic2KK here, and welcome back to another Love 0.9.0 tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to talk about the Love.keyboard module, and this is a fairly small module. I think it only has about 6 methods in it, that will let you interface with the keyboard, and I am intending on covering them all today. You already know about one, which is Love.keyboard. It is down, but there's quite a few other ones, like set key repeat, has key repeat. Those are the ones that come to mind, and I can't really remember the other ones, but they'll come to me. So let's say local has key repeat, and then we can say has key repeat equals love.keyboard has key repeat will check to see if you can hold down a key and have it constantly register. So it's like the is repeat event. Let's print is repeat down here, build and run. If I press D once, as you can see, false, it prints false, but if I hold it in, it apparently doesn't print. It must, oh, it's disabled. By default has key repeat is disabled. Oh wait, no, I did tests. Love.keyboard.set key repeat, which sets to see if you can hold down a key, and as you can see there it says true because I am holding down the key D, and it's printing true because I have it held down, and it's a repeat event because I've had my finger held down on the D key. By default this is disabled, but has key repeat will check this value. So let's go down here into love.draw and say love.graphics. Let's copy this because we're going to be using it again. Key repeat. Let's say has key repeat has to string has key repeat. So then I'll just build this has key repeat true because it's enabled. If this is false, it will say false, and we will explicitly say that this will be at 0, 0. There is the method that we all know and love. Let's see, if love.keyboard.is down, then print a key the a. We need to skip that because I can't skip characters properly. The A key is currently down, and then if we press it, then for as long as for every frame that I have it down, it will say A key is currently down, because love.keyboard is down basically checks to see if a key is down. I believe I already talked about this though whenever we did our image movement. So you should know about love. Actually, I'll just keep it there just for the sake of completionist. It basically just checks to see if there is a key down, and it's not input polling. It is basically just input. There's a word for it. Love.key pressed is it's what would you call it? Input polling, because it basically just checks once, and you wouldn't use it for player movement. You would use this for player movement because it's much better. Basically, you would use love.keyboard that is down for checking for input, and then this is just for like one-time input. I should also mention that has key repeat replaced is key repeat in Love 0.9.0. It was renamed in 0.9.0 to has key repeat. So the next thing we want to look at is local get text. Let's see, has text input. And this basically is like has key repeat, except has text input basically just checks to see if this method is enabled. You can say it's enabled by default, so has text input equals love.keyboard.has text input, and then here we can say 20 has text input, has text input Oh, they're the same length. Well, other than this, yeah, that's just something that I found funny. Has text input is true, which means if we print, this doesn't return UTF-8, but this does. You can disable it if you want with love.keyboard set text input to false, and then it will disable love.text input so that you can't use this method. So if we were to say print hello world whenever there's text input, it won't show up. But if we set this to true, it will print hello world several times because of the amount of keys I pressed. But we will set this to false just so that both these things are false. So has key repeat is false and has text input is false. And actually, just because I want the font to be bigger, love.graphics.set new font, which, as I explained in the font tutorial, it basically just creates and sets a new font, and if you don't pass it an argument, it basically just creates Love's default font, and then the parameter is the size. So I give it 20 as it says, and that sends the font size. That is it for the keyboard module. That is how small Love's keyboard module is, because it doesn't really need to do a lot. Yeah, that is absolutely everything in the keyboard module. Is down. Remember, checks to see if a certain key is down. You can give it a key in here. There is a constant wiki which I have on my on one of my tutorials. I have a link to that in the description. I will have an annotation on the screen right now from ScreenFlow, of course, not on YouTube. So it shows on all devices of the tutorial that it's on, and of course to the link. But yeah, set key repeat, get text input, basically sets and disables key repeat and text input. Remember, has key repeat and has text input. This is new in 0.9.0, since this method is new in 0.9.0, and this has changed from is key repeat to has key repeat in 0.9.0. In 0.8.0 and below, this used to be this was has or is key input or is key repeat, and yeah. Always remember, if you're printing it out, to string it, because it's a boolean value, true or false. So you need to turn it into a string, because LÖVE can't concatenate. It can't even concatenate numbers, I don't think. Well, I think it can concatenate numbers, but no, it can't actually. It can't, and it can't concatenate nil values. So if something's nil, always to string it. It's good practice. So yeah, that's going to be it for this tutorial. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Any questions, leave a comment. This code, of course, is going to be on Pastebin. I recorded this out of sync with another tutorial, so this is actually going to be episode 12, and the tutorial I'm going to upload is episode 13, but whenever I recorded it was episode 12. Yeah, if that makes sense. So I apologise if there's something different about this that I might have accidentally left in, but hopefully you won't notice any difference, rather. Yeah, but share it with your friends if you think they'll find this useful. Remember to check out my website, sonic2kk.pythonanywhere.com. I will have a link to that in the description. But that's it for this tutorial. My name is Sonic2kk, and I will see you in the next tutorial.